Good morning, everybody. This is the start of the Bart Winkler Show, the Tuesday, June 13th edition. This is Tim Shea's portion of the show. Tim Shea, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Tim.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah. Good morning to you. And then later in the show, we'll talk some NBA Finals. So recording this during Tim's window of hours that he's awake. You never know. And then later on will be the NBA Finals. Two separate YouTube streams if you like to consume via video. Thanks to Dan Schani, danschani.com with Dan Schani Insurance. Home, auto, work, he'll help you out. It saved some of you guys a lot of money already. And I do want to point out that, you know what, just in case I use a clip, let me just take the virtual background off. And look, I'm just in a green screen. And I'm doing this basically so that if I clip something from this, people will know. Because a lot of times, what happens sometimes is people I'll have a tweet and then people will, I don't know this guy, who's this guy? And then they'll see my background and they'll think I live in this lavish house. I don't know. I thought,
hold on, let me get
obvious that it's fake, but
let me click my screen out here. Oh.
Yeah. And Tim's in a luxurious
this is actually my
Milwaukee apartment. So the Brewers have Monday off, which is why it makes sense to chat with you. So we're not gonna talk and then miss a game, and then it'll still be relevant as of Tuesday morning. But they're coming into this series against the Twins, having lost 3 to the Oakland A's in a row. They call that a sweep, and it happened at home. Now, I was on CBS Sports Radio. They've lost 4 in a row.
Well, 1 to Baltimore before.
So I was on CBS Sports Radio watching the game live, which I know the national audience doesn't care about the Brewers, but there is like a perverse allure to the A's. And so what I was telling people was, all right, I'm watching this game, and I just need to know from you guys, my team is going to get swept by what could be historically the worst team in baseball. How should I feel? And ultimately, there's a couple different things. You can spin it however you want. It's baseball, Tim. It's 3 games. It's baseball, whatever. Dan Needles said this was a low watermark in the franchise. I'll mention that guy later. But then also it maybe isn't a big deal. But then if you're in September and you miss by 1 or 2 games, you're going to think, well, it would have been nice if we didn't get swept by one of the worst teams in baseball. And then 2, I think this happened at the worst possible time. If you're ever going to get swept by the worst team in baseball, it happened to happen on a weekend where no one's doing anything else. The Brewers are at home. There's nothing else going on. It's not football season. It's not basketball season. This is the only thing that gets our attention. It's at home. It's not like if this happened, even if this happened next week, but in Oakland on the road, nighttime games, people don't care as much. But this happened at home. So I think that everything's kind of part of this. I think that it's baseball. Things happen. I think that people are overreacting. And I also think that it's pretty embarrassing. So I think there's a lot of everything going on here. And I haven't settled on one take on this.
My thing is I'm going on the more of this is embarrassing. This is terrible. Come on. This is the worst team. Historically the worst team. Their ERA
on pace for that for sure. There's one team that they might be better than on what they're on pace for. And it was a team called the Cleveland Spiders, and they played in the 1800s. They played 2 centuries ago, 1899.
Their ERA is +8. It's 8.5 something, I think. Or it's terrible. You couldn't even get 1 win against this team, which I don't know. I still think the Brewers are going to win their division. I still think they're a good team, but after seeing what kind of numbers they put up this past weekend, terrible.
Last thing too, the guy I was doing it with, Manny Rodriguez, he was producing the show, and I said, how should I feel? And he goes, you play in the middle of the country. Everyone that plays in the middle of the country right now, baseball sucks. So you shouldn't feel that bad. Everyone over there sucks.
Yeah, the two worst divisions are the American League Central and the NL Central.
So the Brewers are going to see one of those teams in the Minnesota Twins. I did listen to some of Tim Allen on Sunday, and he had said that Tuesday's game against the Twins here is the biggest game of the season.
Shocking.
Which I do love Tim. He does use the biggest game of the season card 12 to 15 times a year. He does do that, but I don't know. I don't know how big it is. They were taking calls about how you need a players only meeting and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I don't know that we have a handle on this team. Again, there's still a lot of people that are hurt. I think like this team's not very good. They're average.
They're an average team. This is how they're lucky they started out the way they did. And here we go again. I feel like we say this every year. And it was only this is a much smaller winning streak that they were on. Usually we're used to like 22-5 or something in April. I mean, they started out 8-2 or something like that. So just because of that, that's the only reason why this team's in first place. If they didn't start out like that, if they started out 2-6, 3-5, something like that, we could be 4 or 5 games out of first place, 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 games below 500. We're 2 games over, 1 game over, second place, 1 game out. So,
yeah, not even a first place team. The Pirates.
I guess we are second place team now.
But so we look at the Pirates and they lose 2 or 3 to the A's, and we laugh at them. And now we're like, oh God, I wish that we did that. A's are on a 5-game winning streak, Tim. They're not that bad.
I know. They're just the Central is not a good league, and the A's are proving that.
So then it's like people should be like, losing to the worst team is always bad. I'm not trying to justify it. I do think it gets more attention because of where it's at in the schedule. I do. So losing it at that point is going to bring on more attention. But I don't like the amount of anger you feel, I guess, would be towards what your expectations of the team are. Do you think this is a team that is good? If you think they're a really good team, a contending World Series team, then you got to be furious. But if you think that I think they were already an average team. They were like a lot of teams that this era of the Brewers have had, is where they've got good this, couple good that, and then they need like 6 or 7 guys. I mean, Jesse Winker is Hunter Renfroe is, who else
Jesse Winker's not Hunter Renfroe, by the way.
I know, but
yes.
Hunter now with the Angels is having a really good year. But it's plucking these guys that are kind of journeymen and trying to see, all right, will it happen? Will it stick in Milwaukee? Like, we think fondly of Eric Thames and Jesus Aguilar now if Rowdy Tellez struggles, but those guys also were those kind of guys. And the Brewers don't have and they're trying to with Mitchell and Terang and some of these guys, but we don't really have a core group of guys. Yelich is the core. Adames has not been here that long, and he'll probably not be here much longer. Urias, we had Colton Wong, we have Brett Anderson. I mean, what the Brewers have been trying to do is they've had like the back end core. They've had a few starters core. They've had Yelich, but everything else, it's like a constant churn of the roster, trying to find guys. And if you have guys that will, have career years or above average years, you're going to be an above average team. The fact that you can't even have the conversation right now, who's their all-star? Because it's Devin Williams. You can't say anybody. There's nobody else that comes close. And there's nobody else that's even in the conversation, Burns included. So that they're an average team. Luckily, they're in a below average division. And I think that if you're going to watch this season with any perspective, it's got to be, all right, well, but again, with the average team, we've seen average. Their default is average. They can play a lot worse than this, but they can also play a lot better. That's just the range that the Brewers have been in these last few years. Now, there could be bigger expectations. The Mets are under 500. The Cardinals are 10 games under. The White Sox are 10 games under. So it could be a lot worse. I'm just saying, it's a long.
I think it's going to get worse.
I'm saying it's a long season, I guess.
I think it's going to get worse before they come back up. I really do.
Well, I see. I don't want to put false like I always say. I wish the baseball season had more stakes. Like, it's so long. Not Omaha Steaks, promo code Bart. I've been in the search bar. A lot of people have been picking that up for Father's Day. Thank you. I don't want to put like more pressure and say this series is weighted more. You've got the Pirates coming in next weekend. The Diamondbacks are coming here. You go to Cleveland, but you got a 3-game set against the Minnesota Twins. Is this series bigger because of what happened?
2 games.
Oh, just a 2-game set.
It's just Tuesday, Wednesday. Off.
Doing that bullshit again?
Yeah, off Monday, Thursday. So
God.
It's a good chance for our friends that watch in the northern part of the state to go see. And it will be interesting to see how many Brewer fans are up there.
It's a border battle, Tim.
That's a good take. That's a good take of the border battle. The I-94 series, right?
Yeah, I-94, yeah.
It's a good take. This will be a good take to see how many Brewer fans are interested in this team. Usually they get big crowds up there in Minnesota, so.
Well, as long as the weather's nice, I mean, I don't know. It didn't look like there were big crowds there this week.
No, it did not.
They're trying to change that. I got an email as we were talking about the upcoming theme nights.
Yeah? What's coming up?
Saturday is Indiana Jones Day with a Craig Counsell bobblehead.
Okay.
And Sunday's City Connect bucket hat. I may take my kid for a little bit on Saturday.
Okay.
Not for the whole game, but, we drive by the ballpark enough, and I'm always like, do you want to go back there? And he's like, yeah. So I was going to go last week, and it was Sesame Street Day. We missed the Cookie Monster bobblehead, which I'm sure on eBay is priced way too high. I went to go buy an Elmo one from last year.
If I had to guess, $50 to $75 for Cookie Monster, at least. 50 to 75.
People gobble up the tickets, put them on eBay. Let's see. $50. $50, yeah. The best is that I don't see any with Cookie Monster here, but Elmo, they just flat out take the picture. It's in their lap at the ballpark. They get it, immediately sit down and put it on eBay. But then there's also Friday night, which is it's golf night, but I feel like it's being marketed as Paigesporanic Night. Is that why I'm not into this? Why am I not?
She's the bobblehead, right?
Right, and I'm assuming she's going to be there.
I would assume so too. Yeah, she's got.
Throw the first pitch.
Yeah.
And she's like a social ambassador, and that's fine. I'm one of those things for MKE Pro Soccer, fam.
I think the Brewers need one of those to fix their social media.
I will stop saying Goodland. I've been saying Goodland United. I'll say Goodland. Sorry, I was trying something. It didn't work.
Oh, okay.
Why? Is your burrito done?
Huh?
I heard some beeping.
Oh, I think that was a car outside.
Oh, okay. Do you have thoughts on Paigesporanic Night?
Good for her, I guess. Good for golf.
Why don't I like it?
I hate it.
Why?
Because you're mixing 2 sports together? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's their X golf thing. I don't know.
Because it has to do with X Golf, and you were a hater when X Golf when they were building it. Hell, you started talking about Paigesporanic Night back in the day when you were on the radio.
Yeah, that is back in the day now, isn't it?
You still are, I guess, but I meant back in the day locally.
I'm just thinking, why go to Miller Park to hit some balls when you could get a golf simulator right
I
now?
wish we could get numbers on how many special ticket packages were sold for these theme nights. You know?
Sure you can. Just call Rick's office. He'll tell you. You don't know what the fuck's going on. Hey, Rick, how many tickets you sell? Who is this? It's Bud Selig. Oh, hey, Bud. 1,500.
I should call. I'm Tim from CBS 58. How many special ticket packages have you sold? How many Spage? I want to call her Spage. How many Spages bobbleheads have you sold?
Call as part of the news and say we're looking to do a story to increase. We want to give you some free pub. How much do you need sold? You say, how much do you need sold? And he'll say, we sell about 40% inventory. That's a way to get around it.
All right.
I also want to remind people that if you're upset about the Brewers,
upset like for the weekend or overall?
If you're ever feeling anything about a sports team,
okay,
you should know that it is just a game. That's what Ted Davis wants you to know. So there were two guys tweeting over the weekend, Sunday night. I don't get it. I don't get what it is. These people retire in Milwaukee, and then instead of like being happy and enjoy retirement, constantly try to stir shit up, or like are angry and bitter. The thing Dan Needles said to Brett in Tosa, and Dan has me blocked now, of course. Well, because I ripped the Taco Bell post was ripping on his post from a month ago. And Ted's been blocking me forever. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. But so here's what Hunter, our guy Hunter at the game, said. He said, a texter into the post-game show to the game. I'm going to crush some Culver's flavor of the day to get over this loss. Hunter says, keep being you, Wisconsin. Innocuous, innocent. The guy's like, man, this sucks. I'm going to have some ice cream. Hunter's like, Wisconsin. We always turn to our Culver's, don't we? I'm going to tweet that out. Done. Ted Davis. Bitter Ted Davis, who got fired like the week before of his retirement age. So he's on a crusade forever because I don't know. Guy Ted Davis,
who also lives in Texas now, not in Wisconsin.
The guy was like a year away from retirement age. He acts like he's Aaron Rodgers, where he thinks he just came off 2 MVPs and has more years in the tank, and the team wanted him out. No, they moved on. People move on all the time. Anyway, so Ted sees this. Ted says, please stop feeling bad when your team loses. They don't care about you. They just want you to pay the $14 beers. When your team loses, it doesn't affect your life in any meaningful way. You'll be happier when you embrace this. Treat it like a show on Netflix. So, first of all, this guy that texted wasn't going to harm himself, wasn't going to harm others. He was going to go eat some yummy dessert. And Ted took that as an opportunity to preach to people that you shouldn't like sports, that trying to cope after losses is bad. He then later says, Ted Davis does, about why losses don't matter. I called NBA games for 37 years. My team's lost nearly 1,500 games. In 2019, when the Bucks lost Game 6 after being up 2-0, that was a bummer. But I found hot pizza in the press room, took the sting out of losing, went home, woke up the next day happy with life. So Ted Davis, former Bucks announcer, sees someone upset about a sporting event and to cope with it, ate food. Tells people don't deal with sports like it's life or death. Tells people the way I cope with losses is eating food. What the fuck am I missing?
He just contradicts himself.
What am I missing?
No, I don't know.
And then
he had pizza. This guy had
Dan Needles, former he had pizza. Former Channel 12 guy, because Brett and Tosa, our guy, is like, you made a living covering a team. We like sports. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Dan Needles goes, again, Dan retired. He's living the dream.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, son,
I hate when people, listen here,
adults
son.
Talk while you sit quietly at the kids' table. You don't know Ted and have no clue what you're talking about. When you accomplish what Ted has, then we might give a damn what you think. All of this because someone texted Tim's show on the game and said the Brewers lost to the A's, worst team in baseball. Dan Needles himself said it was a low watermark for the franchise. And now they're on a crusade about who can and cannot be allowed to talk sports because some guy wanted an ice cream cone. So I insert myself into this drama, which I need to stop doing. I wonder if I'll ever have a real job again, like a 9 to 5.
It's what you do.
But I can't stop. This is an injustice. These people, even if it makes me look bad, even if my philosophy, and this is bad, but even if somebody doesn't think they're in the mud, I will go into the mud with you as long as they realize, oh yeah, I was in the mud. I will tweet at the expense of myself just to get people to realize that they are stupid. But it never works. No one ever realized they're stupid. And then people are coming in defense of Ted. Well, Ted's right. Some people take sports too seriously. We shouldn't do that. The guy said he was going to go eat fucking dessert. Dessert.
I know.
What are we doing?
These guys maybe just need to go back to work or something because they have too much time on their hands to go after people that want to eat dessert and have some pizza.
I mean, I tell people how to fan all the time, but I don't tell you not to be a fan.
Correct.
And like they were texting each other like,
oh yeah,
because
let's go after this one.
Did you see what this big laser said?
I was waiting for. I shouldn't say this. I was waiting for Drew Olson to write something because
Oh, did he say anything? I think he's. No.
Oh, did he chime in?
I don't know yet. No,
I would assume
as a Russ conversation, he's been talking 5 days.
I would assume that he, would agree with the other two.
I don't know
because he's been in the business for so long.
I guess we'll have to know.
Sorry to bring his name up.
No, I mean, I want to promote. I want to help.
I feel like that's someone who would agree with the other two cranky ones.
Well, I don't know. He isn't retired yet. Maybe this is a thing that happens once you go through the retirement portal.
Possibly.
Maybe they're upset about the A's beating the Brewers.
That would be nice for a change.
The guy said he was going to eat a fucking ice cream cone.
You know who you need to talk to? What's his name? Who eats the ice cream? Jake. Not Jake.
Matt in the Falls?
Matt in the Falls. Maybe that was him.
Then someone's like, Bart, Ted wasn't referring to the guy that said he wanted to eat ice cream. He was referring to the panic of the other callers. Oh, now you're just assuming Ted in his shack in Texas is listening to the fucking Brewers postgame show when he has gone out of his way to tell you he doesn't care about sports? Get the F out of here. I feel like I'm just going to quit Twitter. Every time I tweet something, I have to explain it now.
No, Twitter's better with you. I
say an innocuous thing about the postgame show. Some guys rat me out to Dom at TMJ saying I'm ripping on his whole brand. I don't listen to Dom that much. I met Dom. Dom's a nice guy. I got nothing against Dom.
What you got to do is tweet and then tweet what you're thinking after that. And then maybe.
I know. I'm going to tweet. And then if you want it explained, if you're too stupid to understand my obvious joke,
maybe create another Twitter account and then, quote tweet it or Bart's thinking or Bart's thoughts.
What I meant.
What Bart meant. And then reply to that. And, I don't know. I mean, people just need to calm down. They take everything too literal.
Well, what's new with you? Let me do what I keep having birthday parties and it's people that I like but we always get in the same kind the dads of the kids. It's always
yeah.
So how's it going? Good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You guys got any trips coming up?
Yeah, I'm going to Madison.
Okay, we know about your trip. You're going to Madison. You got any trips coming up?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is this what we're talking about? You got any trips coming up? Yeah, I'm going to trip you as you leave.
Ooh.
Burn. All right, Tim, I love you.
Oh,
you got something else?
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, can we briefly? Have you talked about the new Big Ten scheduling and USC, UCLA coming over? No divisions anymore.
Well, I brought it up briefly. We can bring that up thanks to our friends at happyplacehemp.com. Promo code is Bart. 25% off every order. I talked to Chris. If you want to try every gummy they have with the code, you can try every gummy they have. 3 of them ends up being about $30 to try every gummy they have with the sampler packs, and that shipped to you for free. And then you find what you like, and then you're like, all right, I want to order again. Sometimes you want to order again, and it's like, oh, well, I already used the code. No. Let me tell you this bullshit. I ordered some stuff online for my father. Look at that. What do we got there?
These are the mango. These are the day ones. So when I'm,
yeah. I ordered some stuff for my dad for Father's Day from a website. And I'm looking all around for a code, any code. I'm typing in Twitter for a code. Type. Send the email or make the order. Then immediately they email, hey, thanks for your order. Here's 20% off your next order. Well, no. That ain't how it work. Happy Place Hemp, you get the code right away. Every time. Promo code Bart. What do you think about the schedule? Badgers are still going to play Minnesota and Iowa, right?
Yeah. Those are their two, rivalry games, I believe.
And one of them, UCLA and USC, is one of them coming in 25?
25. I'll tell you this. I was looking, so the reason why I brought it up is because I was, while at work,
planning another trip.
I was looking at their schedule and their future schedules. So next year they have Alabama coming in, which is the draw. But in 25, at home, they have USC, Michigan, Michigan State, and I want to say Ohio State, like all four of those at home. It's like, woo. That's a nice little, with the addition of USC and UCLA, they're going to go out to California once. Every team is going to go out to California at least once, and USC and UCLA will play everyone, I think, by 26 in the Big Ten.
Still weird that they're going to be there.
I know.
I'm not even used to Rutgers being here.
It's gonna be interesting when my dad that always says it's weird that Penn State's in the Big Ten and they joined in '94.
Yeah. So do you think because right now it's a 4-team playoff, okay, and then they're going to go to a 12-team playoff, but when they go to a 12-team, the schedule is going to get harder for the Badgers.
Yes.
Do they have a better shot of making the playoff when it's expanded, but their schedule's harder, or a year like this year? I think if they have a shot to win, this is the year. This is the year that they have a shot to win. Even though it's Luke Fickell's first year, I mean, you've got Mordecai should be decent enough.
Oh, and their backups too. I mean, you still have a chance to, even with 2 losses, to make it, because you won't end up playing in the Big Ten championship game, so that cuts a loss out. Obviously, you would imagine that the 2 teams that are playing in the Big Ten championship game are more than likely both going to be in the playoffs. And that might be it for the Big Ten. Who knows? It depends how good the Big Ten is during particular year.
College football. I love it.
You could have 3 or 4 teams from your conference go. You might see, though, the downfall of this is that you might see Michigan and Ohio State play 2 weeks in a row. Yeah. That would have happened the last 2 years.
Nobody cares about that.
I'm just saying.
So where on their schedule, because this is the year, I feel like there hasn't been this much hype since
the Rose Bowls.
So, but the Badgers now, this is an under Christ situation where they always lose a game that they shouldn't, whether it's BYU or Illinois.
This year it will be I think they play either at Illinois or at Washington State.
Well, they lost to Washington State last year at home.
Yeah.
I like them to win this year. They start against Buffalo, they'll win.
Yeah.
At Washington State. Georgia Southern, they're 3-0.
At Purdue could be a slip-up.
At Purdue on a Friday night.
And they love their night games at Purdue.
Could that be the one? Then they have a bye week. Then Rutgers. Then Iowa, both of those at home. At Illinois. Then Ohio State.
And Illinois,
Indiana, Northwestern, Nebraska, Minnesota. The schedule, this is the easiest this schedule will be probably for the rest of my lifetime.
Easiest the schedule you have, plus you get Ohio State at home. So
yeah, in the next, let's say by some act of God, I live for another 50 days. This will be the easiest schedule. They're never going to have it easier than this.
Nope.
God, I can't wait though, man.
I was going to say maybe next year, but I guess Alabama comes in, so that trumps everything.
Horvat's already tweeting how many days till college football.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, for him, Notre Dame and Navy kick off the year too. So in Ireland.
Yeah, God. I can't wait, man.
I know. That's why I just wanted to bring it up. Get get the juice.
I'm pumped. I am pumped. I love college football.
I do too. It's nice that the Badgers will have some good teams to come in through.
But I think I like the rankings and the scheduling and the playoff more than I actually like the football.
Oh, because they're expanding it too. Like this is the last year.
That's what I get into.
Yeah.
I get into what does this loss mean? I like all that stuff.
I'm just saying that they can afford a lot during the 12-team playoff. They can afford a loss, possibly even 2, depending who they lose to. If it's a USC or Ohio State or UCLA, I mean, I guess UCLA is decent. Are they coming back all the way? Who knows?
Is Yelich back?
No, just because he hit a home run. Hey, one last thing. I still have expired 2 free Loge level ticket offers. Expired though.
Oh, they're expired?
Yes.
Those would have worked good if we're trying to get people to a game.
I know.
Oh well. All right, Shea, love you.
It's been fun, Bart.
Be good.
Go Brewers. Go Badgers.